Hey guys, Gaddock Teeg here with Corellian Run Radio, and in this episode of SWTOR 101, I'll be taking a look at the basics of space combat in the Old Republic. What does space combat look like in SWTOR? Let's make the jump to hyperspace and find out. First, let's take a look at the ship parts available to you in-game. To access your ship's equipment, open your character sheet by pressing the C key, and click the tab on the bottom for your ship. There are a total of 10 upgrade slots for your ship. Of those 10, 6 are available for purchase for credits from the ship parts vendor on the fleet, or can be crafted by a cybertech. The first of these items is your ship armor. Ship armor determines the amount of health your ship has during a mission. Next is energy shields, which determine the strength of your shield. Your shield protects your ship's hull while it's up and can regenerate as you progress through a mission. The speed at which your shield regenerates is determined by your shield regenerator. Your beam charger determines the amount of damage done by each of your ship's basic attacks. Your beam generator sets your ship's attack speed and determines how many of these attacks you do. And finally, your missile magazine sets how many missiles your ship carries. In addition to these 6 basic ship parts, there are 4 more equipment slots that can be filled with items purchased with fleet commendations, which you obtain by completing space missions. These include proton torpedo tubes, which are useful for destroying enemy ship installations, a power conversion module, which allows you to transfer power between your shields and blasters, boosting one at the detriment of the other, the electric warfare pod, which allows you to render your ship untargetable by enemy blaster fire for 10 seconds, and the EMP generator, which allows you to instantly destroy every ship within your range. Now that we've seen all the upgrades your ship can get, let's take a look at a space mission. You'll find all your space missions in the cockpit of your ship at a console like this. You will then click on your space map, and you'll see all available space missions in different sectors. So you click a sector, and then anyone with these spaceship markers is a space battle. You'll see here that there are lots of different space missions available. The one thing to remember is that not every space mission is unique. As you level up, they'll start repeating space missions. So it's not like there are 50 different space missions. There are only about 6 or 7 space missions. Once you find your space mission, you'll see here there's a quick splash screen which shows you what your objectives in this space mission are going to be. Gives you a little fluff about the space mission, and you click into the mission and away you go. Let's freeze here and take a look at the HUD of the space missions. Wherever you have the quest tracker, it will show you your current active space mission, so the mission you're on. It'll also give you a timer, so it tells you how much time you have to complete your mission. You'll also see here that you have a HUD that shows you the number of missiles you have, as well as the number of missiles you have loaded. The yellow are the missiles you have loaded. You can only ever have 4 missiles loaded at a time, so you can only ever shoot 4 missiles at once. Also in purple, if you have the proton torpedo tubes, you'll see the number of proton torpedoes you have. The other pane in your heads-up display will show you your shield strength, your hull strength, and any abilities you have, like the energy conversion module. Let's start the action back up and see how these all work together. Ship movement is controlled by the W, A, S, and D key. Targeting is controlled by the mouse by moving the reticle around to target where you want to shoot at. Holding left click will fire your blasters, and holding right click will allow you to lock onto targets with your missiles. You can also perform aileron rolls by hitting the spacebar. This is good for avoiding fire. Now in this mission, our goal is to destroy 50 bombers. In most space missions, your primary targets are marked with yellow circles. Destroying other ships during a space mission may also open up bonus missions, which will yield bonus experience and gold if you complete them by the end of the mission. As you can see in the top left, I'm using the power converter module. This is probably the most important item to get to complete the harder space missions. Whenever you're firing, this should always be in the blaster damage position. And whenever you're not firing, it should be in the shield regeneration position. Your ship's shields will only ever regenerate while you're not firing. Therefore, if you have a lull in the action, you should always be regenerating your shields. And while you're firing, you should always have the increased damage module active. So right here I'm not firing, so my shields are regenerating. But when I start firing again, they will stop regenerating. You can see I'm firing here, shields are not regenerating. To use missiles, you hold the right click, and you can target up to 4 things at once with your missiles. But like I said before, you can only ever load 4 missiles at a time. So you can see I fired a bunch, and I had no missiles loaded, and they slowly regenerated up, so now I can target 4 missiles at 4 different targets, or multiple missiles at 1 target. Now you see here my shields are depleted, so I start taking damage to the hull. If your hull damage goes to 0, you die. So you'll see here I stop firing, my shields regenerate, but your hull never regenerates until the mission is complete. See some more of the mission critical bombers there, they're marked in yellow, so I'm firing my missiles at them. I'm also trying to take down these red Talon fighters to get the bonus mission. It is usually better to fire at oncoming ships, because those are the ones that can fire at you before you fire at ships moving away from you. Ships will only fire at you if they're facing you. Sometimes it's also nice to take out things that are not involved with any missions, like the turrets on those bigger capital ships, so that they stop damaging you. A lot of times you'll see the same ships over and over throughout a mission, so if you destroy their turrets early on in the mission, you won't have to deal with them later. You'll see in the higher level missions, a lot of these ships have shields themselves, so it's better to take them out with missiles or just unloading on them, because you have to take out their shields, but missiles will go right through their shields. A lot of times in that splash screen before the mission, it will say missiles useful for certain things. These are usually shielded targets. And you'll see from the timer I have a minute left, so I want to make sure I complete the mission. I'll destroy a bunch of these bombers and finish the mission. One thing a lot of people complain about is the fact that once you complete a mission, you still have to finish the rest of the on-rail segment. So you can't just complete your missions and be done with it. This can be a little annoying on the longer missions. Now there's no carryover between missions, so your shield will be fully regenerated, your hull will be fully repaired, and you'll have full missiles, so there's no reason to not go all out on every mission. And you'll see here the mission is ending, the ship's going to make the jump to hyperspace to run away, and we've finished victorious. And we'll make our victory jump to hyperspace. You'll get a mission completion here, which will give you credits and experience if you're leveling, and that's all there is to space missions. The one thing I wasn't able to show you here was the use of proton torpedoes. Those are useful for missions that require you to take out installations, so I'll show you here a proton torpedo use. To use the proton torpedoes, right-click like you're going to use a missile on an installation, and hold for a couple seconds. This will fire a proton torpedo, which will almost instantly kill anything that you need to. So that's a quick guide to space battles in Star Wars: The Old Republic. This has been Gaddock Teeg with Corellian Run Radio. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time for more SWTOR 101.